So just yesterday at San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel announced their Phase 4 slate of movies and TV shows. I'm just going to get right into it. The first movie is Black Widow. It stars Scotty Johnson as Black Widow. It'll be a pretty good movie. I hear they have Red Guardian in it, which is like Captain America if he was a commie. Well, that's kind of propagandist, but we'll see about that. Next up, they have a TV show called The Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's going to have Baron Zemo from Civil War. And we'll see, but I don't know if they can keep that movie up. I think they'll be able to do it, actually. I changed my mind now. He's a pretty good guy, and he had getting that purple mask he had in them comics. I loved them comics so much. But, we'll get that. Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're going to have Captain America, and that one of them's going to be Captain America, hold that shield up. That'll come fall 2020. And Black Widow, going to come out May 1st, 2020. Next in 2020, we're going to have Eternals. That's like Immortals. Immortals. Yeah, that was a song on the Big Hero 6 soundtrack by my favorite band, Fall Out Boy. Yep. But that's not what this movie's about. It's about some people that are really strong gods. Whenever they had Ego, the living planet, and he was really just Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Well, now they're going to make some movies about his children, which is named the Eternals. But I thought you said, man, Chris Pratt was his children. Well, it's his brother's children, so it's really the other Celestials. They're going to be making movies about his nephews, alright? Nieces and nephews. That's going to be starring Angelina Jolie as Maleficent, and going to be having the first deaf superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, which I'm very excited about, so we're going to be having lots of fun there. Eternals comes out November 5th, 2020. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is the next movie, and it sounds very exciting. It's going to be about this martial arts man named Shang-Chi, and it's going to be about his martial arts and experience, and I'm assuming that this movie is going to be set somewhere in Asia, maybe China. I don't know that much about Shang-Chi, but it's going to feature the Mandarin, and I've heard rumor that the Mandarin is going to be Shang-Chi's father in this movie, so there can be an interesting dynamic there. There's going to be the next series on Disney Plus. It's going to be called WandaVision. It comes out spring 2021, and Shang-Chi comes out February 12th, 2021. Keeps on forgetting to say the dates. But next, WandaVision is going to be about Wanda and Vision. And you say, well, Vision's dead. He's dead, but not forgotten. And Wanda didn't forget him. So when she comes back, she's going to be like, hey, Shuri, can you fix me up an old Vision? And Shuri will be like, I will do nothing of the sort. I will fix you up to 10 visions, a family of visions. That's what happened in the classic comic, The Vision, where they made a family of visions. I don't think it was Shuri that did it, but I'm assuming this Shuri could do that. Or it'll be an alternate universe Vision, or we will have in Scarlet Witch's mind. But also another character I forgot to mention how she's coming back, Black Widow. She's not coming back. She fell off that cliff. She is dead. Very dead. But we are going to have this movie Black Widow take place after Civil War and before Avengers Infinity War. So it's going to be like in the middle period where she's supposed to be hiding, but she's not going to be doing that. She's going to be starting the film. So that's what she's going to be doing, but I don't know if she's going to be able to hide, because I heard the Taskmaster was going to come after her in that movie, and she's going to have some little Black Widow sidekick named Yelena, which is very interesting. We'll see about that. But next is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and this is going to star Benedict Cumberbatch in Doctor Strange, and it's going to be the first horror movie. And we'll get into why, which is what Elizabeth Olsen's also going to be in this is Scarlet Witch. It's going to tie into the WandaVision series, which is going to come out in spring 2021, right before Doctor Strange comes out on May 7th, 2021. So she's likely, my theory is she's going to make a multiverse. She's going to, like, not create the multiverse, but she's going to tap into it and use her powers and make it all go mad. And Doctor Strange will explore this with his magics and help guide her through her powers. Something will go wrong in the WandaVision, and then she'll have to learn there, and then that's what it'll be. Then I think the next thing we'll have in that movie is just gonna have her going insane, like in the comics in Avengers Disassembled and in House of M. She just went insane, so we'll see if she does in this. Next series in spring 2021 is Loki. And you say Loki's dead. Well, he wasn't dead in a part of Avengers Endgame, so they're bringing that Loki that's living back. He had the Tesseract, and he's gonna go somewhere. Might go to the past, might even go in the 70s. I've seen a picture of that. Never know. Loki's one of the greatest characters. I'm very excited for this. We don't know much about it, but very cool. Next is What If. It's like, what if questions. What if the Wii Fit trainer did 9/11? What would the world be like? It's just, what would the world be like? Except it's only about Marvel characters. What would the world be like if Peggy Carter was Captain America? Alright, that's going to be the first episode. This show is going to be hosted by a great man in Marvel, The Watcher. No other host you can really do. I mean, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Stan Lee. This should be pretty good there. The next movie is... the next movie is Thor, but the next show is Hawkeye. That comes out in fall 2021. What If comes out in summer 2021. But Hawkeye is going to feature Kate Bishop, who is sort of a young Avenger. She's a young Avenger, a West Coast Avenger too. And she is Hawkeye's former sidekick, and now she became Hawkeye in the comics. But in this show, she's just going to be a character in it, along with Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. And we'll see, he'll train her to become the Master of the Bows. The Master of the Bows. I assume his old family will be in here too. And we'll see maybe some flashbacks of what he was doing as Ronin in between Infinity War and Endgame. We'll learn about his ethos, the character arc in there. And we'll learn a lot about what he's doing after that. But then the next movie, and the last movie in Phase 4, it seems, is Thor, Love and Thunder. And, well, to me, I knew everything that was going to come out, but I didn't know every detail. Look, it's all rumored, all of this was, in Phase 4. One thing surprised me that they talked about afterwards, but I was sort of surprised by what they said. I didn't know they were going to do it in Thor 4, Thor, Love and Thunder. And I'll tell you, they have a really metal logo, and I don't know if that logo and title will stay. We'll see. The movie's probably going to happen. Very, very sure that's going to happen, but I don't know if the logo and title will stay the same. But they're cool nonetheless. They're just saying, it works. But that's not the point. The point is that they're going to bring back Natalie Portman as Jane Foster. She's going to become Thor, the female Thor. This happened in the comics, where she gets cancer, and every time she uses them hammer, she gets all her chemotherapy wiped away. But she has to help people. So, that's what you get for helping. You trade your life for the lives of others when you're a heroic person. But that's all we got there. We're going to also have the original Thor. Who knows what he'll be doing, but it'll be very exciting to see. I just hope Natalie Portman's able to stay on for other movies after this. They do some Avengers movie, and then they want the female Thor in it. You're going to have to show up. You're going to have to show up. You can't just bail on the contract and be like, oh, we broke up. That's not going to happen when you're the superhero. Alright? You're going to have to come back, I'm worried. But I think she will. I think after Endgame she wants to come back. She's excited about the brand again, so. And there's all about the Benjamins. We know that. But the next thing they announced, and I'm not sure if it actually was the next, but the most surprising thing in the whole panel was they announced the Blade movie. This is very surprising for multiple reasons. No one was expecting this. Everything else was leaked, talked about before. Eternals and Black Widow have been shooting for weeks. We've known those are happening. You can't hide that stuff. All the Disney Plus series except for Hawkeye were already announced, and even we knew Hawkeye was going to happen. But this, we had no clue was going to happen. People wanted it, but they didn't think it was going to happen. And they thought, if anything, it would be a Hulu show or something. But no, Blade is coming as a movie. Not in Phase 4, but it's going to come at some point. There's no release date. We don't know anything about it other than Mahershala Ali is playing Blade. He's the guy that played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage. He played the Prowler in Into the Spider-Verse. And the thing about him being in Luke Cage is, yes, he was in the universe, but I mean, you think about this, Benedict Cumberbatch voiced Dormammu in Doctor Strange while also playing Doctor Strange, so people can play multiple characters and multiple important characters. What I'm just worried about is he's playing two important human characters that, alas, will look different. You can tat Blade up, put on some teeth, shave his head, anything, he'll look different. But, and I'm pretty sure his head was bald as Cottonmouth, but that doesn't matter. He'll look different, but, like, I don't know, and he might even be an alternate universe character. They'll get around it. They knew he was Cottonmouth when they hired him for this. He knew. It's fine, but it's an interesting choice. It's a great casting. It's just interesting to hire someone who's already in the MCM to do it. But, that's very, very exciting. I'm excited for Blade. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I'm very surprised they're doing it in a movie. I'm getting out of my hillbilly accent now because I'm just like talking real with you guys. We're real up here. We in that closet. We talking about Marvel. It's happening, you know. But other than that, they said they're working on a few things. They said they're working on Captain Marvel 2. There's not a surprise. The movie made over $1 billion. It was a great movie. It's gonna have a sequel. Wow. I assume that'd be Secret Invasion, maybe. They said the same thing for Black Panther 2. It's gonna have a sequel. They're not gonna talk about it right now, but no date. Probably not Phase 4, but it's gonna happen. They said, hey, we're also gonna make a Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Not a surprise. James Gunn's working on that. It would have come out in 2020 if they hadn't fired and rehired him. Disney was kind of stupid there. Don't give in to pressure. Seriously. Next. Fantastic Four. They confirmed they're working on it. Not a surprise. I'd assume that the Avengers Tower might be the Baxter Building. Maybe. We haven't known since Homecoming. Yeah. I think they're setting it up. I think it was going to be Oscorp, but they can't use them. They can't use them, so Baxter Building's coming. Fantastic Four's coming. I'm very excited about that. It's a great franchise. You don't have to set up as much as X-Men. It's just one movie. There's a lot you can throw off the Future Foundation, Doctor Doom, but it's one movie in the beginning, and it'll be a great setup, finally done properly in the MCM. I'm very excited by that. Marvel Cinematic Universe is not anymore. It's the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, MCM, right? And then, last but not least, Kevin Feige said, but today we're not going to talk about mutants. So that basically confirms, he said, mutants, we're working on X-Men. He just didn't say it, like, it's mutants, doesn't mean they're calling them mutants or anything else. It just means, he said at the end, they're interchangeable. He said in an interview, they're interchangeable. But I do think that they may call them something else. It doesn't matter. I'm very excited about this. It'll be a great franchise. Finally done properly. The real First Class, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Beast, Angel, and last but not least, the Great Man, Iceman, is going to be in there. And starting with Xavier teaching them all. We're not going to do the Fox stuff, and we never had that in Fox. It'll be that. It'll be the comics version. Marvel will just put their own spin on it for the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. It'll be amazing, I'll tell you. But other than that Trumpian stuff, that's all there was to talk about. There was no Avengers movie in this Phase 4. The Phase 4 is only 2 years. So, really, it's just like the comics. You don't do events just to make money. The less events you do, the more money the events you do make. I wish they'd make Avengers. I hope they make Avengers movies still. It's not the time to do Avengers movies, so I'm glad they didn't announce it. But I hope they understand that not every Avengers movie has to be an event movie. Not every Avengers movie has to be in-game. They make Avengers comics all the time that aren't events. They make Avengers comics sometimes that are events. So you just have to learn how to balance it. Because I love Avengers stories, and I love that team and seeing what's going on with them. So I hope we get more of that. But I also hope that they do less events unless they're actually needed, not just to make money. I assume they'll do Secret Invasion. They'll do some events, something like that. Secret Invasion. They'll do Secret Wars, probably 10 or more years. That'll be Endgame 2. It'll be the biggest movie of all time. Probably all time, actually. This has just gotten to me rambling, but I'm very excited about this. I'm very, very excited about the future of the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, the future of Marvel Studios, all the TV shows, Disney Plus, every movie that they announced. It's really exciting. They didn't talk about Spider-Man 3 or Ant-Man 3. They can't talk about Spider-Man 3 because that's Sony. They can't announce that. And whether it's coming out in Phase 4 in that timeline or not, they can't announce that because that's Sony-owned property. Even though it's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Multiverse, they can't talk about it. But they can talk about Ant-Man 3, and they didn't say anything about it, which makes me think it's not coming out for a while. It's not coming out until probably a period of time that they don't want to talk about, so that's fine. But it is going to happen, it's just not now. Alright? That's it. That's all we have. It's exciting, the future of this universe, the future of this multiverse. I'd say I was most surprised by Blade. I'm most excited for Doctor Strange, and second would be Thor. I'm also super excited for all the shows. Falcon and Winter Soldier would be about 6 episodes. I assume they'll release them monthly. We'll see. Disney Plus, November 12th, 2019. The shows don't come out until late 2020, so it'll be about a year after Disney Plus, but we got Mandalorian Day 1. Very exciting service. The future of pop culture and Disney and everything is just so bright, man. What a good time. A good time. That's all it is today. Great Comic-Con, great films, and stay connected.